Is Zion a slam dunk to be the #1 pick in this year's draft?
No, he is not. He is not. Not according to the people that I've spoken to. They think that, his efforts are both Herculean, that he's incredibly impressive. You can't teach the vertical leap, which is at about 46 to 47 inches. You can't teach 280 pounds. You've heard the comparisons to the Charles Barkleys of the world, along with various others. You get all of that. But I've got some people, I run across some people in the NBA circles and in college basketball circles that have a question about his perimeter shot and have questions about how great his upside could be potentially. They like RJ Barrett a lot. They think that he is the real deal. They clearly believe that Zion Williamson would be a top 3 pick, but they also think it depends on the team who picks him. If you're the New York Knicks, for example, you not only need him because of his skill set, you need box office attraction. If you're a few other teams, you might not need that. You might be an all-around versatile player who's perceived as having a better perimeter game, like an RJ Barrett. So it's one of those things. And this kid out of Oregon, Manute Bol's son, Bol, I believe his name is. I mean, he's injured, so he hasn't been playing. But a lot of people like him as well. So they look at Zion Williamson. They say he's easily top 5, probably top 3. But in terms of the debate as to whether or not he's #1 overall, they think it depends on the market that he's going to and how much they need a basketball player compared to how much they need a box office attraction. He's clearly #1 box office. He's clearly top 3 overall. But they look at a guy like RJ Barrett, and some people that I've spoken to believe there's a chance he could get taken ahead of Zion Williamson.
No chance. Zion Williamson's going 1 overall. He's a generational talent. And you just said it, Stephen A. He is box office. This isn't only a slam dunk. This is an above the rim, above the back.
I take him #1.
360-degree slam dunk. This is a Zion Williamson slam dunk. Like, what are you hoping from Zion Williamson? That he's better than Blake Griffin or someone like that? I hope he's at least better than Blake Griffin. You know, Julius Randle, but with way more athletic ability, right? That's the kind of downside of Zion Williamson. What's the downside of RJ Barrett? Andrew Wiggins or someone like that? There is no chance Zion Williamson doesn't go #1. He's bigger, stronger, much more athletic. By the way, even his field goal percentage, I realize that's because of his size and he scores in the paint and everything. Nevertheless, Zion Williamson could miss his next 125 shots and have a better field goal percentage than RJ Barrett right now. Like, think about that for a second. 68% to like 45%. Yeah, a lot of that's in the paint. I get it. But for a big guy who scores in the paint and a
lot
freshman,
of it is dunks, Matt.
He shoots it pretty good, doesn't he? I mean, considering. Do you believe there's room for improvement there? Of course. But is there reason to believe he can improve? He's a freshman doing this stuff. Stephen A., when a guy comes along with this kind of athletic ability, not to mention the numbers he's putting up, you will not be the team that misses picking him. Could you imagine if Zion Williamson fulfills the potential and winds up like a better version of Charles Barkley or someone, and you're sitting around as the GM who passed up on him? Ain't going to happen. He's going first.
Listen, I will tell you this. I'm a real fan of Barrett. Now, I would take Zion Williamson #1. There's no question about it for all the names, for all the reasons that you articulated. Because I feel that I would take Zion Williamson #1. That's how much I feel about him. But I do understand from a basketball perspective, particularly the way today's game is called. You can be energetic. You can be athletic. But in the same breath, you could be so fiery that it's hard to reel you in. And even though it's no comparison, please don't get me wrong, I'm not comparing the players. Let me give you an example. Do you remember, Max, back in the day when Chocolate Thunder, Darryl Dawkins, God rest his soul, well, I mean, you know, he was breaking backboards and going crazy, and he was just a man amongst boys in terms of his physical prowess. You know, the Boston Celtics never concerned themselves with it. You know why? Because they always knew he'd be in foul trouble. Almost instantly, because he didn't know how to quite reel it in. The physicality that he had and that advantage that it gave him also neutralized his effectiveness because he would rely on that so much. We look at a Zion Williamson. I see the ball handling skills. I see his moves in the paint. I see his elevation. I see all of these things, and I'm like, this dude is a physical freak of nature. He is something special. But let's not forget the fact that RJ Barrett is a monster in and of his own right. On a collegiate level, his first year, he's a freshman. You consider the perimeter play that exists in today's NBA and how the NBA sort of veers away from physicality. You can find yourself in a lot of trouble because they call the game at times so softly. All I'm saying is I'm listening to college coaches and NBA scouts say to me, Zion Williamson is all those things and some, plus he's box office, but we believe that RJ Barrett can be that kind of dude as well, Stephen, and we can't dismiss it. That's what they're saying. I'm taking Zion number one.
The team that drafts RJ or anyone over Zion Williamson will really live up to the lyric, and then they wept when they remembered Zion.